Hey, I would love to get your attention, please. There are several seats empty here on the first row. Zemari, you're sounding perfectly. Keep the volume like that. I'm loving to hear it.
Hi, João. How are you?
Hey, hi. I'm fine, and you?
I'm great. Well, today we'll be talking about the secret sauce of great entrepreneurs. And João, do you know how to make a small fortune as an entrepreneur?
Just a big one, sorry. No. No.
Do you know how to make a
Enough
small
with the
fortune
jokes,
as an
enough with the
entrepreneur?
jokes.
No, it's very easy. You started with a big fortune. Very easy. Are you
So-
ready to hang out over there in Lisbon?
Yeah, the room is quite full. I'm trying to get people to join us in the front row. People are a little bit shy. Come on. And over there, how are things?
No, it's great. And the room is packed, so we're all ready.
Okay, so welcome everyone. I'm João Moreira Pires, your host here in Lisbon. Over in Porto, we have José Maria Archer. Everything is ready there, so I would like to call to the stage to get us up on what's up in the Portuguese ecosystem, Miguel Aguiar, Startup Portugal CEO. A round of applause for him.
So, good afternoon, everyone. Hello, Porto, as well. Like João said, I'm the executive director of Startup Portugal. And I would like to welcome you to this Above and Beyond Hangout. This is the number 45, so we've been able to do this in several months in a row. And for us, it's an honor to have you all here today. And today we're going to be revealing the secret sauce of great entrepreneurs. So please keep your notebook ready to take in everything that matters. I'm not going to tell you what the secret is. I'd like to bring you up to date on what's happening in the Portuguese ecosystem. So unless you're living under a rock, you already know that from the 10th to 13th of November, all startups enthusiasts can only spell Web Summit. And Sure Thing will be there representing Portugal and spearheading a Portuguese delegation of over 100 startups. I hope to see you all there in Pavilion 1, stand E150. Speaking of which, together with Lisboa Municipality and the Unicorn Factory, Lisboa, we'll be hosting a series of Web Summit warm-up events, the innovation tracks, and throughout 5 different hubs in the city, and culminating with a welcome to the global stage, Lisboa and Portugal. The innovation talks are the perfect introduction to Lisboa and Portugal. Don't miss out and grab your seat now. We've teamed up with Banco Português de Fomento, ANI, and Recuperar Portugal to launch Tech Foundry Portugal Deep Tech Edition. This new program supports startups and researchers working on breakthrough technologies, helping them move from lab to market with the right tools, mentoring, and connections. It's all about giving deep tech projects the boost they need to grow and reach real-world impact. And please find out more on our website. I think this is a very good program for every startup that wants to have success in the deep tech area. Today I have another scoop for you. You are the first, the first of the first to hear this. Tomorrow we're going to launch an internationalization program promoted by Startup Portugal, designed to provide insights into the United States market and to prepare startups and scale-ups to expand to this geography. If you're interested and ready to know more, you'll have to wait until tomorrow. So keep your eyes open and check it out on our social media and website. Before we begin, let me just get your attention also for something coming up later today. In our networking moment, with the help of our friends from APVP and Unicorn Factory Gaming Hub, we'll be hosting the 2 gaming demo stations there, one in Lisboa and another in Porto. Today in Lisboa we have robust games showcasing the game Loco motive, and in Porto, Fragile Shaped Solutions Studios, pardon, with their game Beyond the Board. Let's give them a round of applause, and afterwards, let's go to get to know them. Yeah, well, we'll have the round of applause after. Without further ado, let's get on with João Moreira Pires and present the startups that you're going to.
They're going to pitch. Thank you so much, Miguel. Now, our first pitch is here in Lisbon. Please welcome with a warm applause Mira Sergiva, co-founder of Talent Kids. Mira, come on.
Hi guys, before I kick off my presentation, can you please raise your hands if you have children? Amazing. And can you please raise your hands if you have the feeling that navigating and understanding the development of children can sometimes be exhausting, and also understanding the things they struggle with and the things they're good at? Please raise your hands. Well, this is great because we are building Talents Kids. Talents Kids is an AI and science-powered platform helping parents and educators understand the kids' development, but also struggles and their talents. Sorry, that was my fault. So we believe that parents and educators are in the need of a tool that tracks metrics far beyond school reports and simple guessing. Every child is unique, we all know that, and we help uncover their ways of learning, thinking, and connecting with the world. The challenge is parents want to understand and support their kids as much as possible, but sometimes lack the insight into their development and emotional journey. Teachers are simply overwhelmed because they have a huge class they need to take care of, and also the workload. And then schools. Schools are equipped with administrative systems but lack a tool that captures the human side of education. Our solution is that we combine learning analytics, emotional understanding, and personalized content generation to help you support your kids. And let me show you how it works. So you are able to upload real-life data into Talents Kids, anything imaginable, that being exercises, worksheets, exams, drawings, voice notes, anything you're also comfortable with sharing with us. And then our AI analyzes learning patterns, behaviors, and outputs, and then you receive this beautiful talent journey map showing you in detail the evolution of your kid, their talents, and also the things they struggle with. And we go beyond analytics. You're able to create worksheets and drawings in Talents Kids based on your kid's age, their interests, and also difficulty level. We have School Lab, which creates worksheets for you based on the data you have provided us with. We have tools also that understand the way your kid is learning so you can support accordingly and also give you suggestions for activities and exercises. What makes us so unique? So we combine real-time insights, personalized learning materials, and emotional awareness in one tool, which is quite amazing, in my opinion. We also have 60+ AI agents implemented in Talents Kids, so you receive 5 times more accurate results than our competitors. And we're building together with parents, with teachers, with psychologists, and AI specialists. So we basically build together with people that understand kids the best. So let's help families and teachers support each child in the way they deserve together with Talents Kids. Thank you so much for listening. Feel free to scan any of those QR codes here to check out either our website, get a walk through our system to see in detail how it works, our LinkedIn and future roadmap to see all features we have already implemented and the upcoming ones. Thank you.
Thank you, Mira. And if you have any questions for Mira, feel free to look her up in the networking moment. And now to pitch here in Porto, we have Jerzy Fernandes, founder and CEO of Versus Esports. Round of applause, please.
Thank you, everyone. Good evening. So, today I will present Versus Exports. In Versus Exports, we turn passion into progress, play into profit, and gaming into community. So, I'm Gerson Fernandes, CEO and founder of Versus Exports, and our journey began when we organized esports tournaments, and we realized something simple but crucial. It was a bit difficult to find a complete and safe space to manage our tournaments, from registration, payments, and promotion to player audience interaction. So today, organizers, gamers, and streamers live disconnected. Players can't easily find tournaments, and organizers have trouble with payments and engagement. Um, and the audience have to jump between Twitch, PayPal, and YouTube and other social media. So this fragments the gamer experience and limits the community growth. So Versus Exports solve this problem, creating a complete social network for gamers. With our platform, gamers can find and participate in tournaments, create teams and community, follow other players, and even monetize their performance. Organizers manage everything in one place, tournaments and finances. And streamers they have their audience concentrated by one unique ecosystem. So have launched our B2C and B2B application, web application, and we have launched to our mobile application only available to iOS. So in just 3 months of MVP, we already have more than 300 users in our platform, and we held 10 tournaments, and we have 8 B2B partners in Brazil, Angola, South Africa, and Portugal. And we have more than 400 euros in revenue with validate profit. So these 300 users come from one community from WhatsApp. That community was activated to our assisted, our production validation. So the gaming market is huge. More than 3 billions of users, or more than 3 billions of gamers, and we are focused on casual players who represent 84% of this community. So we are already attracting them to our social platform through tournaments and events and our entertainment. Furthermore, we have partner communities with over 300K of members waiting to compete in the best tournaments in our platform. So our business model is hybrid by B2C and B2B, and this moment we generate revenue from tournament fees. So this is Versus Exports, and our vision is to become the next leader in social networking for gamers, where every game and tournaments and friendship happens in one place. Thank you.
Thank you, Jersey. Thank you. So if you are curious about Versus Esports, just find Jersey in the networking moment. And now let's get on to the panel discussion, which we're here to talk about the secret sauce of great entrepreneurs. And here in Porto to talk to you, we have Maria Oliveira, Executive Director at UPTech, and Isabel Rodrigues, Board Member at Investors Portugal. A round of applause, please. What about in Lisboa, João?
So, Zé Maria, here in Lisboa, we have Peter Hopwood, story pitch coach. Come on, come on. Round of applause for Peter. And to moderate, Sara Diniz, Senior Project Manager at Startup Portugal. Another round of applause for Sara.
So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being you here today. So today we're diving into what truly makes an entrepreneur stand out. beyond the great idea, it's the mindset, the ability to adapt, the learning from failure that define real success. But let's listen from the experts. So with us, we have three fantastic voices from the ecosystem, so incubation, investment, and storytelling, to help us uncover what separates those who stumble from those who thrive. So let's start with a quick round of intros. I would like to ask for a quick introduction. So if you could please, Peter, start to say what you do and how your work connects with entrepreneurs, please.
Sure. So I'm a story pitch coach, speaker coach, and an event host. So essentially, what I do, I help startups, incubators, accelerators, really to share their stories, to deliver their stories in a way that really gets those conversations, right? So that's essentially what I do in all different forms. Right now, I'm already in Portugal, Porto yesterday, where you guys are right now, with the Road to Web Summit, boot camp sessions yesterday. We're doing them all again tomorrow as well. And I'm looking forward to this short and sweet, hopefully, we'll see. 30 minutes together with you now.
Great, thanks, Peter. And you, Maria, please.
So, hello, everybody. Thank you for the invitation to be
No,
here. It's
I'm
always
sorry,
a
Maria.
pleasure.
Okay, great.
Can you hear me? Yeah?
Yeah, no.
You can hear me, right? So, hello, everybody again. It's always a pleasure to be back here to UPTech, this amazing place. I'm not biased at all. But in terms of what I do, I've always worked with innovation and technology transfer entrepreneurship. Right now, I'm the executive director for business at UPTech. This means overseeing everything that has to do with business and the support to entrepreneurs. And also co-director of the Master in Porto Business School that focus on entrepreneurship and business innovation. So trying to train the next generation of entrepreneurs.
Great. And finally, Isabel, please.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect, here too. Hello everyone, my name is Isabel. Thank you very much for the invitation. My background is in economics and finance. I work in private equity and venture capital at IB Risk Capital, and I'm part of the board of Investors Portugal. I work both in VC and in private equity for 6 years, just did my MBA last year, and I'm very happy to be here supporting all of you.
Congrats, Isabel. Thank you. And we also want to know more about the audience. So could you please raise your hand if you are an entrepreneur or if you want to become one day? Okay, great. So I don't know in Porto, but I'm sure a lot of hands are raised. Okay, great. A lot of energy there. Hi. So let's explore the journey of an entrepreneur. We often hear that entrepreneurship is a marathon, not a sprint, but what does that really mean in practice? So I think we can start with Maria. At UPTech, you've supported hundreds or even thousands of entrepreneurs. What patterns do you see in founders who make it through the tough early stages, as we know, versus those who feel obligated to quit? Maria.
Okay, that's always a tough question, but I would start with saying that there is no secret sauce or no secret. It's always hard work. So that's the baseline. Whenever you decide to be a founder, an entrepreneur, you need to be able to grasp that this is a journey, that you will need to put a lot of your time into it. And taking this into consideration, resilience is also one of the key, I would say, characteristics that you see in successful entrepreneurs, because, you know, things will not go always the way you plan it. So you need to be able to bounce back and to have that energy, not to get depressed, not to get burnout just because it's too much work and sometimes it doesn't happen the way you plan it. I would say another thing has to do with a clarity of purpose. You know, you hear a lot of people saying, I want to be a founder. Right now, it's sexy to be an entrepreneur. And because, you know, I'm going to be a unicorn, I'm going to win a lot of money. And you need to be able to understand that that's a good thing to happen, of course, but possibly it's not the main thing that you should be concerned or at least define it as your purpose. you're going to spend a lot of time, you're going to spend your resources, and you need to be able to communicate to others why you are doing this. You need to motivate others to get on board because you're not going to be able to do it alone. At one point, you need to bring people, and that's also one of the things. So clarity and purpose, it's not always about the money or not only about the money. And I will say the other thing is that, and because at UPTech we work a lot with researchers from the university, because we are part of the University of Porto, you see this need for perfection. They want to develop the perfect technology. They want to overplan, overthink it, and they take too long to reach the market. So you should really put it out there as soon as possible without wasting too much resources, because that's the only way you're going to learn. That's the only way you're going to be able to get feedback, to understand if really this is aligned with what the market needs and if you are able to succeed. So I think it's resilience, clarity and purpose, a lot of hard work, and to be able to be coachable. That's one of the things that's also very important, because we have a lot of founders at UPTech, as you said, Sara, and sometimes we allocate mentors and sometimes we try to help them, but they are not very open to feedback. So that's also important. You need to hear different voices to take advantage of all that they have to teach you, or at least to help you in terms to find your journey, your path.
Great inputs, Maria. Thanks a lot. And to Peter now. So you work closely with founders who have to pitch their solutions under pressure, especially. So how does mindset affect how stories is told?
Mindset. Just before I answer that, I just want to say
Sure.
what Maria just said there in terms of being coachable, right? So again, it's something that we maybe don't always think about and realize, but when you're pitching, so whenever you pitch Web Summit, wherever it is, whatever format, people are not just listening to what you're saying, right? They're not just listening to the idea, to the problem, frustration, solution. Is it scalable? All those things, XXXXX, right? But they're also, especially those ones that are potentially going to work with you, or maybe getting involved with your idea, with your concept. They're thinking to themselves, what would it be like to work with you? What's it going to feel like to actually work with you? And so in your pitch, the signals you're giving, right, that can really sway one side or the other, or maybe neutral. Hopefully not. You're actually trying to get an emotion, trying to get a reaction. But always remember, they're always thinking, when they see you, when they listen to you, when you're pitching, elevator pitch, all of these things, all of these small interactions, they're thinking to themselves, what will it actually be like to work with you, right? So you would actually ask yourselves the same question. What would it be like to work with you? Are you someone that is quite stubborn? Are you someone that is open to feedback, open to listen to other people's ideas, listen to the ideas and then clearly make your own ideas? Or are you someone that listens to other ideas and easily, not convinced, but kind of not a people pleaser, but really want to kind of just say yes and maybe too many times, right? So just think about that. Again, something to reflect on. But going back to, what was the question?
Yeah, great insight.
Mindset,
Thanks,
that's
Peter.
right, sorry, mindset. Yeah, mindset.
And how it affects the way story is told and also received.
Yeah, your
related.
mindset on how you approach your pitch, the story that you share, or the stories that you share, it all comes out. Everyone can feel those emotions, right? So really getting to grips with a mindset of, for example, and there are many different things you can think about. Mindset of, your audience don't really care about you, your idea. When they start listening to you, everyone's on a neutral line. Nobody really cares, right? So don't ever think, because you're on a stage, because you got a mic on, because you're standing there, because you have an audience, that means people are guaranteed to listen to you. They don't have to listen to you at all. They're giving you something that you have to give back to them, their time, right? So again, getting into that mindset of giving back time, and also understanding that it's not always an easy thing to do, clearly to convince people with your idea. accepting rejection is not just for a founder, not just for someone who's pitching. Every entrepreneur, everybody who's set in a selling role, most of us are, as founders, as entrepreneurs anyway, are in selling roles. So really accepting that there's going to be a hell of a lot of rejection along the line, and getting to grips with that. It doesn't stop. It won't stop. The rejection won't stop. You'll get successes, but that rejection will keep on coming, and it's up to you how you deal with that. You mentioned earlier on, Maria mentioned about sometimes getting depressed, sometimes not feeling good. This will happen, right? Sometimes it's maybe a good idea not to fight that, just to accept it, but then that period of how fast you bounce back, that's really important, I think, right? Because you could feel down about things and not feel great about how things are going, and that can last, right? So making that period shorter and shorter and shorter, ready for the next rejection or the next time we're all going to feel down about something to do with what we're doing, right, is really important. So yeah, I think mindset around how we pitch and the stories we share are so important. And getting not necessarily the perfection, not to get a perfect mindset, but things like this help us get closer, right? Increase our chances of that success.
Yeah, great. So this culture of failure, it's really important in entrepreneurs, and know how to fail and how to do it again, isn't it? And we also want to hear from Isabel. So from an investor's perspective, how do you recognize resilience, as Peter and also Maria mentioned, and what tells a founder can handle uncertainty? So a great characteristic of entrepreneur.
Sure. So it's not easy to recognize resilience, or if when it's resilience, it's not written in someone's face. So we need to do some due diligence to try to understand traits, characteristics that probably they will proxy this. And this is done through a kind of a due diligence to the founder, to the team, the person we are trying to understand if this person is actually resilient. And the previous experiences, the previous job, just the track record of the person, usually this is a great proxy. And by this, I don't mean that the founder, it's a second, third founder, has multiple companies in his CV. It might mean maybe he or she worked at this company, and we know that this position is quite tough. So it's not easy, and probably this person is resilient, so that he or she survived at least for some years or a period of time. So this is a way. A second way is to talk with people that know this person. So just and hopefully it's not invested or doesn't have a lot of incentives just to talk good about the person. And this usually also gives us some clues about if the person is resilient or not. And also through different conversations. So we always meet the founders of the companies. The way the person answers difficult questions, for instance, it shows a lot. If the person is very defensive, if it starts being very critical, if it doesn't, if she or he doesn't accept well feedback, especially when it's negative feedback, this also shows that most likely the person it's not very resilient, at least yet. Maybe it's a characteristic that the person will develop or will need to develop soon. But not yet. But as I said, this is not something very easy to understand at the beginning. So it's through multiple iterations and conversations, this kind of due diligence, and we try at least to be sure that there is not a problem on this person. It's not resilient at all. If it's like between a little bit or a lot, okay, that's already fine. But we just exclude the this option of not being resilient at all.
Great, Isabel. Thank you. And it's really interesting that you all mentioned on how resilience and this acceptance of feedback, it's important and matter as much as like purpose and be a workable person. So thanks a lot for your insights. Now I'd like to deep into building the right ecosystem and team. No entrepreneur succeeds alone, so we are, until now we talked about the characteristics of an entrepreneur, but no entrepreneur succeeds alone, so the right team, mentors, network can make all the difference. Maria, at Wupetec, you see founders grow within a community every day, so what role do you think the ecosystem play in shaping strong entrepreneurs?
Let me just grab something that Isabel said that I find quite interesting before going to the specific role of incubators, accelerators, the ecosystem, let's say, supporters that you may have, which you said is maybe you're not resilient yet, but you will develop it. And at least I'm a strong believer that entrepreneurs are not born. And with that, of course, they need to be born first, but I'm a strong believer they are made. So it's something that you learn as well. Of course, there are certain characteristics like being an extrovert and being able to connect easily that this will make your life as a founder a little bit easier, as if you are shy and you don't want to connect with anybody, because as a founder, you will have this key role in selling your product, selling yourself, selling your company. So yeah, there are some characteristics which makes it easier, but all of them, you can learn them. So that's one of the things that we try to instill, not only in the learning programs we have at UPTech, but also whenever working as mentors with entrepreneurs. And that being said, of course, I think that places like UPTech are extremely, of course, I need to say this, but I think they are extremely useful because basically they give you a platform to which you could, first of all, connect with peers like yourself. So the learning curve is a lot faster because you'll have a lot of different people surrounding you that are doing or trying to do the same as you are, putting a product, putting a service out there in the market. And they will connect with investors, they will connect with clients, they will connect with people that are useful to you as well as a founder. So it's just your neighbors. So it's going to be easier for you to learn from them. Then, of course, whenever you have this critical mass, and for instance, in UPTech, we support per year more than 200 projects. We're talking about 2,300 people, 44 nationalities. And this has what we call a network effect. This means that a lot of different stakeholders, like corporate investors, like Isabel, is going to visit us very soon, are able to come to our ecosystem and connect with you. If you're all alone, this could be difficult for you to reach out to them. It's just saying, I want to meet investors, and boom, there's an investors day happening. And I would say that the network effect, that part that you have the peer learning, and of course, all this community that comes into play. Perks and benefits. So things that normally cost money, you may get them in incubators for a discounted price or even for free. And of course, and when I'm talking about this, it's not only like, cloud services and things like that. It's also the training that you get that normally you would pay for it. So there's a lot of advantages. We normally say that whenever you enter an incubator or a science park like this, it acts like a mirror and a megaphone and mirror because you're surrounded by people like yourself, and it gets to reflect easily on what you are doing. And a megaphone because we amplify your message. You will reach out faster and sooner. And of course, if you fail, and failing is part of the process in terms of learning, you'll find yourself in a very comfort zone in terms of not judging you, because everybody around you failed or will fail in the future as well. Because otherwise, there's no innovation, there's no creativity. So, of course, I work in an incubator and a science park, so I would have to say that I think it makes it very easy for founders, particularly in the early stages.
Yeah, and also sharing tools, knowledge, and so on. Thank you, Maria. Investors often say that they invest in teams or founders, not ideas. Isabel, what are the team dynamics or red flags you look for before committing?
Yes, there are some team dynamics or let's say team characteristics that are important for a company to succeed, or at least we believe so. We look for complementarity in the team. A lot of times the founder, it's someone that came from a very technical background, was the person who invented and developed the product, it's the creator, but maybe it's not the most commercial person. A lot of times you need someone that it's very structured, that it's someone good in operations. It depends a lot also in the company stage. So it's important to realize what are the needs of the company right now and to build a team that can answer these needs. So you need a lot of skills, you need a lot of expertise for different stages. It's important to acknowledge in which stage you are and which skills and expertise you need. So usually at the beginning, at the development stage, you need a lot of people with technical backgrounds. So you will need probably engineers, you will need people that know the markets, expertise. Of course, you always need a CEO, a leader, someone who knows where you are, where you want to be, that has a vision and can see the big picture, which sometimes quite often the people like that are really building the product or software, whatever, they are a lot of times very too into detail. So they really care about this detail of the machine, of the software, and they solve these problems. You need someone to see the big picture too. As the company grows, maybe you will need to start scaling, start producing more. So you need operations. So you will need someone with experience in this area. Later, you will need maybe someone to commercialize, to help you go to the markets. In a lot of times, it's an execution game. So you will need someone with experience in this area. You need a doer, someone that knows the market, that has the right connections, has the network. So try to build a very complementary team. It's very important. I would also mention make sure the team is well incentivized. And this, there are different ways to see it. A lot of times when you have a huge churn in terms of the team, probably they don't have the right incentives. Give them equity, don't be afraid of that. Of course, make sure these are the right people, but then incentivize them well, give them equity, create ESOPs, build different mechanisms to make sure people are incentivized and that you are aligned and share a vision. Having also founders or members in the team in conflicts usually doesn't go well, so it's important that everyone is aligned. Maybe a third point, the culture that it's built, which is made by the team, also plays a huge role. You need to have an open culture that it's constructive, not toxic, and this is easy to recognize. If we visit the company, if we spend some time with the team, we can understand the dynamics, and it's important that there is an open culture that incentivizes creativity, different ideas, and where knowledge is shared.
Thank you, Isabel. And the red flag? What
I would
are
say
the
the red
flags?
flag would be the opposite. So in a team that you have a lot of people with the same characteristics, the same traits, probably they will lack other areas. They will lack commercial skills, they will lack technical skills, depends on the company, of course, in the moment the company is living. But a red flag, it's when you have a lot of people with the same skills and you lack important skills in the team, important positions. Second point, when you understand the dynamics, it's not very constructive. When you understand that a lot of people in the team are not incentivized, a lot of people have a track record that maybe it's not the best one, that can sign all that. Maybe this person has conflicts of interests. I would say here different things, but mostly I would say the opposite of what we are looking for.
Yeah, great tips. Thank you, Isabel. And Peter, when founders communicate their vision, it's often the team story that they are telling. So what's the common mistakes that founders make when presenting their team to investors?
I think actually, so again, when we're sharing about the team, right? Often, I'm sure you hear the same thing as I do. I have a great team. We have a great team, a fabulous team. Everyone's wonderful, right? But at the end of the day, at that stage where you're pitching or you're presenting this to investors, at that stage it's really all about the credibility, right? So if you can boost up that credibility somehow by adding small things that really get us feeling like, oh, this person isn't just in it because it's a job, but they're in it because they're following they're passionate about the results that this could bring, where it's moving forward. They're excited about it as much as I am, as much as we all are. Okay, someone again bringing that word. Just heard it there. That word diverse. So we have a fantastic team. We have a fantastic diverse team. We have a fantastic diverse team with complementary skills really together that could really move this forward in the right direction. Something like that. So what you're trying to do is add not just saying the same things that everybody's going to say, right? A great team, wonderful team, right? 10, 15 years experience, right? What does that mean? I mean that, like 10, 15 experience in the IT sector, that could mean nothing at all, right? So really try to be short and sweet, punchy, small little sentences which really convince or boost up that credibility to those that are listening to you, right? And if you can do that, constantly do that, people will think actually it's not just a team behind this founder that we're following. We want to do well. We want to root for, but this person has actually got a really good diverse team with all the skills that they're going to need together to make this work. Because that's what they're looking at. Is it going to work? Are you the right people to do this? Right. That's what I'd say.
Thanks, Peter. So I think we can conclude that the secret sauce isn't just the founder, but all of this chemistry of the team, the ecosystem around them, and all the effort they put into developing the product. So to be an entrepreneur, you cannot be alone. And for those who are watching here us today online as well, I would like you to think, and I think it's a thing that Peter said earlier. So if you could think about one skill that you want your coworker to have that you don't, what would it be? If you could tell us later, it will be great. So let's shift to a more practical side, the do's and don'ts. Isabel, what are the most common mistakes that founders make when approaching investors, and how can they avoid them?
Yes, especially at this first meeting, the first impression, it's brutal, right? So the person with whom we are meeting, these people represent the company, and we'll start giving us signs and creating this first impression, and it will define in the end part of our investment decision. So I would say a lot of things. First, lack of preparation, I would say. It's important to know with whom we are meeting. Know the investor, in which kind of companies do they invest, which kind of stages, previous investments, what are the companies in their portfolio, does this make actually sense? And if you are not sure, no problem, just go and ask, it's fine, but show that you know us. You know the counterparty. I think that's really, really important. Second, still about the preparation. Prepare your storytelling, know which problem you are trying to solve, know your products, explain your team, all of this, quite important. Tell us your vision for the future, your business plan, what are you looking for from us? Sometimes this is also missed. What do you want from us? And a lot of companies, usually they want only the money, which is an important part, of course, but also building up on what Maria says, more than partners, and I don't think this is the case for all investors, all the partners, but a lot of them, they can add a lot of value apart from the money. They can be really partners and helping you to think, helping you to understand better the business, where you can go. Some of them have companies in their portfolio that went through the same problems. They have a track record on this area, so make sure they can also bring and add value to your project, and make sure you can use this well, you can benefit from it. So I would say this. Then also lack of transparency. I think when you are presenting us, and this of course assumes that we shared an NDA and all of this, when you are introducing your project, when you are presenting yourselves, it's important for us to see credible people and to build trust. You will be our partners. You are the ones who know the project, who know the products. We don't. We don't have this expertise, so we need to trust you. So if we start understanding that there is a lack of transparency, that people are lying, that they are defensive in certain areas, of course, these are red flags in the team, and starts creating a bad impression on the company and a lot of doubts. You can have the best products, the best ideas, but if we don't trust you, on the end of the day, I mean, we cannot invest in a team that we don't trust. So I would also add this point. I would say these are the two main points.
Yeah, thanks, Isabel. And Maria, from the incubation and acceleration side, what's one thing startups should stop doing if they want to grow faster?
I think one of the main things is stop trying to predict the future, and stop trying to say that you know the market, so you know what your customer wants, without validating those assumptions. So I would say one of the key things that we do whenever we launch any program like the School of Startups is to take those founders and try to make them see that although they really know the technology or they really know what they are developing, sometimes they disconnect from who's going to use it, either if it's B2B or B2C. So right away to put them in contact with the entity or the person that's going to be a possible or future customer, and validate all the assumptions that you have. And when we say assumptions, it's not only the assumptions about, oh, this product needs a new feature or it's better to work it like this, but also assumption that has to do with the financials that you are trying to put forward. And this is extremely important as well for anybody that's going to invest in you. Or assumptions that has to do with the way that you're trying to scale your company for the future. How are you going to build, I would say, a portfolio of products or service that can complement? So all of that, you need to start very soon getting feedback from who's going to give you the money, and maybe in the initial stages, the investors, or if you're able to do it to bootstrap, it's going to be your customers. So that's one of the main issues. But if I may add with my professor side, so in taking a little bit of the research that's been done, there's a researcher in the US, Saravati, that did this study in which she tries to understand a little bit what's important, what you should do as a founder in the beginning, taking those founders that were able to raise business over $250 million. So the ones that were, let's put it like this, successful and were able to create other business after the first venture. And she came up with just 4 concepts that are very easy to grasp and that connect very well with this. You need to validate. You really need to go out there. And one of them has to do with the fact that start with the bird you have in your hand. This means that you won't have all the resources in the beginning. You will have 1, 2, maybe not enough money, let's put it like that, but you need to immediately go with what you have and start validating, getting feedback, getting knowledge, learning. The other point is that normally you are always thinking about what you're going to gain in the future in terms of investment, in terms of return of investment and money, but you also need to think how much are you able to lose? Because statistics tell you that most startups will fail in the beginning, or most products that you try to launch may not reach the market. So how much are you comfortable in losing? And you need to really do that math in a way in which is not too painful to bounce back from that. Then again, it's this quilt of collaborations. You need to surround yourself with people that complement you, either in the team, but also in terms of the partners that you may get, even incubators, other companies that may be able to help you in testing or doing pilots. And finally, and this is easy to remember because when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. This means that you will fail. That's normal. It's the learning curve. But whenever that happens, take this as an opportunity, as a learning and opportunity, and to pivot whatever you are doing to be closer to success. So I would say that the key message is really this one: just validate all of your assumptions. What Isabel was saying about transparency and about trust, it's extremely important. You need to build trust within the team that you are creating. You need to build this sense of security that even if somebody doesn't do the right task at that point, they are also able to learn from that and keep being in the team if it makes sense for all of them. And also because whenever you put yourself out there and you're trying to sell something, don't oversell yourself or your idea, because at a certain point somebody will be able to grasp what's happening in there, and then you lose credibility. And when you lose credibility in an ecosystem like ours, this really spreads fast. So be careful in the way that you present yourself, and be transparent with what you know, what you have, and what you are able to get, and how you are going to get there.
Thank you. Yeah, you don't need to be an island, and you have to trust yourself in the process. So thanks a lot, Maria. And Peter, in pitching and storytelling, what's one don't you wish every founder knew before stepping on stage?
There's lots of don'ts, but I think the first one is don't forget that actually a pitch, right, is all about what? It's all about creating this curiosity, right? Curiosity enough to get a conversation, right? Because that's all it is. It's low-hanging fruit, quite not that difficult maybe for some, but it's quite low-hanging fruit actually, right? A conversation, get enough people or people that are listening to you to just feel curious enough to have a chat with you, right? Even actually on the other side of the coin, even if they're a little bit skeptical about what you're doing, right? Or they just think the audacity of you saying that, sharing that on stage, sharing that to me, I want to chat with you to have a chat with you to tell you, well, hang on a minute, what do you think you're doing, right? But that's a conversation that you can, with a little bit of effort and a few strategies, actually turn around as well. But yeah, again, it's about getting people to feel curious. And again, this emotion, so many times we don't see or feel enough emotion spread around the pitch to make us feel that curiosity and a reaction, right? So emotion, you can put it in the frustration that you have, in the frustration of the clients, in the frustration of the people potentially using the product, right? That pain, your frustration, okay? The relief, the emotion of relief when you start sharing the solution, okay? The excitement that it will give to potential investors, for example. So don't ever forget that a pitch really is more, I would say, more about the emotion than the actual boldness and the confidence and the standing on a stage trying to get people to listen to you. But it's more about that emotion, that connection. If you can do that, always think about curiosity, emotion, and connection, right? You don't have to be, we heard it a little bit earlier there beforehand. Being an extrovert is a skill, a characteristic that can help because constantly you'll be talking to people, having to face people maybe you don't want to face, or face people at a moment where you're not feeling great about facing that person, right? But in fact, if you're not an extrovert, you can still be just as good at, certainly at pitching, again, focusing on that connection and that curiosity, connection rather than strength, I would say. Okay, so yeah, curiosity, emotion, don't forget those things, because so far too often, I'm not sure about other two ladies in Porto, but certainly don't see that as much as we could, certainly at the first open door stage. So the pitch, that's just the very first stage, right? Once we get a conversation after that, it leads on to a few more conversations, and then we start getting conversations moving on further, right? So again, think about that emotion, think about that curiosity as well.
Okay, thanks, Peter. A lot of tips and advices, so I think we need to wrap up and to help the audience to organize the ideas. So I'd like each one of you to share one key takeaway, something that you hope every founder or entrepreneur to be will take away from today's conversation and start doing it tomorrow. It's a big challenge.
Ladies.
Maria, please.
I would say, and Peter said it in terms of curiosity. So normally founders are not comfortable with the status quo. They want to do something different. They want to solve something. So don't stop making questions, and don't stop being curious. That's one of the main abilities I think that you might have for the future, because it fits all sectors. It's transversal to every stage of the startup you have, and it goes along with learning. So make a lot of questions. Question everything.
Thank you, Isabel.
Yes, I would say be self-aware. I think it's very important for the founders to know what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses and their limits, and understand that your resources are really limited. So don't be afraid to delegate. Don't be afraid to hire people that can help you. Don't be afraid to open your cap table, to have different investors, to partner with universities, to partner with incubators. Just be surrounded by people. Understand that you cannot do all. You need to be surrounded. This is not an island. It takes a village really to also build and develop a project, a company, a startup. So understand what are your limits and be surrounded by those that can help you overcome those.
Thanks a lot, Isabel. Peter, what do you have to say?
Listen to what you both said there. I think the word exploration, right? Explore, right? Don't stop exploring, right? Exploring in terms of how the idea is going to develop, exploring the market, obviously, exploring other people's views, exploring what people are saying, maybe that are criticizing you, that are completely skeptical about what you're doing. Explore that, because probably somewhere in there that will give you an idea or tell you actually they might be right. People might be right. So again, being kind of like all of us have said there, collaboration, being open, listening, accepting when you could be wrong, right? Or accepting when you're wrong. That's cool. And then move on, right? I'd say that
ability is really important in an entrepreneur.
Sometimes a bit difficult to do.
Okay, so thanks. Let's open it up for a few questions from the audience. Lisbon, Porto? Don't you have any question? Okay, one here.
Hi, can you hear me? Hi, I'm Mariam from Georgia. Very nice to meet you, and thank you so much for everything that you shared. I have a question, first of all, to Isabel. What do you think about solo founders pre-seed? Do you invest in solo founders? And also, do you invest more in founders or in product? Thanks.
Thank you for your question. We, as Iberis, We invest more in later stages. So pre-seed is something that we usually avoid at this stage, not because we have something against it. That's not the case. It's just because we don't have funds that are dedicated for that. So the answer here is no, but I think it's for those reasons. So solo founders, I don't see any problem. Like the idea start from a solo founder. You need to develop your idea. This takes time, and especially for introverts, I think this a lot of times happens solo. Okay, that's fine. I think what you need after is to be surrounded by people that can help you. It's difficult to grow a company, to not say impossible, alone. So be surrounded by a team, by an incubator, universities that can help you. I think a lot of angels invest in solo founders. You need to find the right investors for this kind of project when you are very early stage. As you develop your idea, it's very natural that you will start building a team, you will start connecting, and as you do it, as you grow, you will attract other types of investors, and at a more mature stage, investors as Iberis are happy to look for your project or similar projects.
Thank you so much.
And in Porto, José Maria, do we have any questions?
Any questions here? Any takers? Everybody's just so illuminated.
Yeah, very shy.
Sarah, we have one here.
Okay, great.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the very nice conversation today. It was mentioned that entrepreneurs are made. And so my question is, what would you say to someone that truly believes they were born an entrepreneur? They cannot think of anything else, but they don't want to just start out with any idea because they want to find something truly meaningful. What recommendations would you give?
This question goes to?
I mean, to the whole board, but...
Okay, I think Maria can answer this one, and then if Peter wants to add something.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I said that they are first born, then made.
Yeah.
But this means if you believe that you are born with this, I would say in satisfaction with the world that you want to really create something, that go ahead, you already have the right motivation and drive. Then you don't want to start with any idea, and I think you're right, but you cannot overthink it. So if at this point you believe you don't have an idea, maybe you can team up with someone that has an idea. And this is quite common. For instance, we are now launching a program called Matching Founders, which really has this objective. Sometimes you have a founder that develops the idea, but you have another one, as Isabel said, that complements it and really wants to bring that idea into reality, into the market. So maybe you are one of those persons. Right now, you don't have the idea, but you can team up with another person that has the idea. And basically, as I was saying, is that, analysis paralysis, that's also a common topic that at some point you need to go out there, because otherwise, time will fly, and after a couple of years, you realize that, I've spent like 5-10 years doing different jobs, and I really did not follow whatever was my dream at the time. So just do it like Nike says. And if you need any support in trying to find the ideas or in trying to find a founder, we certainly can help you to do that.
Okay, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Another question there.
One question here in Porto.
Okay, so let's switch to Porto now, and then we have another one here.
Hello, thank you for the talk today. I just wanted to ask, sometimes entrepreneurship, when you have a team, is more like a marriage. How do you assess whether the team, more than a good chemistry, is going to last together to see the project come through and have a profit from it?
Peter, do you want to? No? Okay, so Isabel now?
Yes, here I would say the team needs to have, even at very early stages, an aligned vision for the company. That's what makes people to last long together, even in couples, I would say. They need to share some ground and a vision for the future of the company. Otherwise, at some point, they will just split. And of course, there will be conflicts, and they maybe at some point they will have different opinions about something. But I think they need to be both aligned, have the same incentives, and overall, this kind of disagreements, conflicts, they need to be like in smaller things, but the vision needs to be defined at early stages, and I would say it's fundamental that they share it. There are also people that are more prone to conflict than others, so this also can signal that it's more difficult for the team to survive or for the founders to survive together. Yeah, I would say it's mainly the vision needs to be shared.
So if I can add up to that, because it aligns well with the vision, is like in a marriage, you need to start talking about what matters very soon in the process. And then if the marriage is like, do you want to have kids or not to have kids, this may be a deal breaker. In a startup, you need to understand what's going to be the exit strategy you're going to be comfortable with. Do you want to be acquired? Is that okay with you? Do you want to be invested? Do you want to go this way, that way? And what happens when the team starts growing? Because you cannot do it all. So you need to assume different roles. So you need to really sit down with a person with whom you're going to have your co-founder or co-founders and decide upon this. And I would say that you even need to put it in writing in the form that you remember what you said, because what you said 5 years ago, people change, may not be how you feel right now. So if you put it in writing, it's like kind of your rooster for alignment in terms of vision, in terms of purpose, in terms of clarity for the future. But like in marriage, a lot of founders break out and they get other co-founders. That's the process. That's normal.
I just wanted to add to that, absolutely, because it's, it's a gamble, right? Bringing your team in and working with them over a certain period, the pressure, the challenges, the ups and downs. Like we say, like this relationship, like a marriage, and like marriages, they sometimes stop, end in divorce, and you move on, right? But again, that's the kind of mindset you have to have, again, of accepting if it isn't working, look at it strategically, why isn't it working, trying to figure it out, and if it can't be figured out, then, okay, the team parts, and then we start anew, right? So again, I don't think it's something that is having a team and having a team that will be with you forever. I don't think is something that you should be thinking about long term, because again, we change, right? The world changes, right? You'll change probably as a founder. You will change, perhaps, potentially, probably, right? So again, sort of like managing this, accepting it, and then moving on, but not kind of beating yourself up because you made the wrong decisions, right?
And you can always build another startup, so that's okay with other founders. One last question. Do we have time for that? Okay.
Thanks for all these great insights. On that note, my co-founder and I are working on an idea that 2 or 3 other startups are also working on. What are investors looking for in our team to show that we're the right team to be able to succeed at implementing this idea versus the other startups working on this project, on the same idea?
Maria, I think as an incubator working with early stages startups, you can help us on this.
Well, I think this is more for Isabel as an investor, but I would say in an incubator, we really support having competition, cooperation and competition in the same place. So if we have startups working in the same, I would say, competing area or product, we don't exclude them from being in the ecosystem. So at that point, I wouldn't be the right person to reply to that. But Isabel?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I would say we will look for credibility in the team, which is the track record usually shows that. The way people introduce themselves, the way they present the product, the way they show their know-how and how engaged they are and invested they are in this project. This shows a lot and gives a lot of credibility. The complementarity, as mentioned before, between the founders or team, or even not if they don't have a team, if we are talking about a solo founder or a couple or whatever, they are plans. So they need to show that at least they are aware of this need. They need to show that this self-awareness, let's say. So complementarity in the teams. And I would say especially at very early stages, they need to know very well either the problem they are trying to solve because they suffered from the same pains or they were very close to to those that suffered from the same pains, or they need to know a lot about the product they developed and how it solves a problem that they are aware of. So one of these two.
Thanks a lot. So thank you. I think if there's one thing we've learned today is that an entrepreneur is not born. They are built through resilience, through the right people, the willingness to learn, to do it and do it again. So I would like to thank our panelists and also our audience. And I don't know if João,
yes.
You? Okay.
Maybe we close now. Zé Maria, how's everything there?
Yes, thank you. And thank you again for an amazing panel, an amazing discussion. And if you have any questions, any further questions, please feel free to pop them in the networking moment. We'll have just after this. But first, let me just tell you again that we have two gaming demo stations today, one in Lisboa and one in Porto. Today in Lisboa, we have Robust Games showcasing the game Locomotive, and in Porto, Fragile Shaped Studios with our game Beyond the Board. So head on there to try these games. But before we head to our networking, João, what can you tell us about who helps us make these Hangouts possible?
So I would like all of you to give a big round of applause to these partners who help us making this possible. Please start as I name them. Investors Portugal, come on. Ferroviário, 351 Portuguese Startup Community, UPTech, Porto City Council, Sograp, and Superbot Group. It was a pleasure to be here with you today, and thank you so much for running the show from Porto, Zé Maria. Don't forget, drop by our stand at Web Summit early next month. We'll see each other again here on November 26th for another Hangout. Two important things now. Gaming station right here downstairs, networking upstairs. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.